Hang on. 3 races, 3 favourites. 250 and 130, Strawberry Blonde. Disco Time, number 5, has returned a dividend of $1.60. And we're just awaiting on the third number. The winner is by Don't Say Halo from Perfect Melody. I've got a theory about this mare. I reckon she is a dead set, solid track horse. She's a duffer, dead, anything worse, forget her. But when the track is firm and good and fast as it is today, she is infinitely better. And of course, she'd had that month off prior to her last run here when third, and whether there had been a little bit of a setback, I don't know. But she looked well today, and she travelled very, very well. 3, 5, 4 and 1. The final numbers are through. 3, 5, 4 and 1 with Strawberry Blonde 250, 130, 5 Disco Time 160 and 4 Descendant 170. Number 1 ran fourth. The runner-up is by Forest Glow from Ball of Fun, trained by Guy Walter, and number 4 Third Descendant by Zeditive from Lineal, Ken Parsons, Hugh Bowman. Time was 103.13. Wow, 103.13. There's another class record. 103.13. 3 class records in 3 races. 103.76 the previous held by Desert Trick. 34.22 the sectional, and here are the totes confirmed. Number 3 250 and 130. Number 5 160. Number 4 170. The Quinella $5.50. Exacta $9.70. Trifecta $35.20. The first 4 354 won $132.40. And in the next of the day, as we check those riding replacements, 9 Lalindiana Glen Boss, 11 Enchanted Spider is Bernadette Cooper, race 5 7 Ashram Darren Beedman, 9 Jester's Lad Grant Buckley, race 6 a jock to come for 8 Jerristar, race 7 Moise Grant Buckley, jockeys to come for 12 Bannockburn and 14 on Sarama. And the last at the moment is clear. A length 3/4 in the previous, 1 length 3/4 as we return to Wool Studios.
Thanks, Ian. Strawberry Blonde, Chris Munce, pushed a little wide on the turn, but it made no difference. She stormed home to win easily, making it 3 out of 6. And congratulations to young trainer Robert Rosengreen. Like Joseph Pride, he was with John Size during that trainer's golden run in Sydney in recent years. And when John decided to pull up stakes and head to Hong Kong, where he's been wonderfully successful, some of his former clients decided to place their horses and their faith in the young Turks, Robert Rosengreen and Joseph Pride, both of whom are now set up solo and doing extremely well. There's young Robert there wearing the spectacles, talking to Chris Munce as he unsaddles. Okay, Cheltenham.
Toowoomba, I won't be riding Lady Trees, but it was a good run by her last start, and I think Jimmy Cassidy's on it now, so you know, he should suit the horse very nicely, and he's going to be very hard to beat.
All right, well, you can tip it anyway. Okay, out of those two, anyway, you tipped it, Daniel Star, Dutch Harry. What do you like?
I think Daniel Star, as I said, he's going to be very hard to beat. You know, last week the advantage was to front runners, and Dutch Harry, you know, you never leave him out because he's a very honest little customer, and you know, he's got a little bit of weight to carry today, but expect a big run. Well, go on you, mate.
Okay. 2 wins to Jim Byrne, Danehill Star and Dutch Harry.
Okay, and at Caulfield, they're just about all there now. Might be a riderless one in the background, but Celtic Verse, a clear favourite at 260 ahead of Dan Viva 360 and Nepal at 370. Let's go to Dan Malecki.
Nepal, blinkers added today, barrier 1. Dan Viva has the claim for Vincent Caddy. It's in well, and number 1 Dan Viva, but it has eased out. It's now the 3rd favourite. And Celtic Verse, who was very impressive at Bendigo, is the top pick in the race. Vincent Hall riding. She's only had the 2 starts. Celtic Verse appreciating the 1400 last start, and she walloped them. Won by 4.5 lengths and was virtually hard held. Couldn't have been more impressive. So number 5 runs the favourite, wears red and green stripes, gold sleeves. Winner of the previous event was Bark Carter. Will be set for the Zeditive in 2 weeks' time. Now they're ready for race 4. Set for a start. Racing. And Jess Paula was the best out with Dan Viva. Nepal near the inside from Ruby Isabel, and then came Celtic Verse. with Love to Town. As she goes, is drifting back second last, and Dream a Lot at the tail of the field. 1200 out. And on the outside, Jess Paula draws clear of Dan Viva and goes to a length and a half lead. Up third now, Love to Town. Nepal fourth from Ruby Isabel. Next on the inside was As She Does, followed by Celtic Verse, the favourite second last, about 7 lengths off the lead, and 3 lengths last is Dream a Lot. Jess Paula down the side of the 800, setting a pretty good speed. 3 lengths in front now of Dan Viva. Running third, Love to Town. Nepal fourth, the rails. 2 lengths away, Ruby Isabel. And then Celtic Verse, who's on the outside of As She Does, who's under some pressure, and Dream a Lot getting by it. Inside the 600, Jess Paula by a length to Dan Viva, who's travelling up well. So too is Nepal, trying to get into the clear as it left the rails. And the favourite Celtic Verse took its spot and travelled up beautifully up to third. Had to check Nepal just the same. It was going too quickly and almost ran into the back of Dan Viva. Nepal did get checked. Dream a Lot ran on, but Celtic Verse zoomed up to hit the lead. Dream a Lot's into the clear, the only possible threat. Then Dan Viva, but it's Celtic Verse going strongly, and she's going to kill him again. Celtic Verse is drawing away, will win it by 3 lengths to Dream a Lot. Nepal 4 lengths away third. Got a severe check on the turn, but there wasn't 6 lengths in that. It's run third though, Nepal, and then came Ruby Isabel, who battled on pretty well. Dan Viva, you would have thought, had every chance. Then came Love to Town from As She Does, which struggled a fair way out, and after leading just Jess Paula knocked up, it was last in. Well, she's pretty good, Celtic Verse. When she travelled up on the bit before the turn, she was going that quickly. She nearly ran into the back of the tiring Jess Paula, and Vinnie Hall had to, I suppose, overcorrect, and she's come out underneath Nepal, and Nepal got somewhat of a severe check at that stage. But she travelled so well, Celtic Verse, and has won, brilliantly, right up to that Bendigo maiden win, and has bolted in. And from what we've seen of her, she can go a lot higher, Celtic Verse. Dream a Lot's effort was pretty good. It was a clear last at the 900. And Nepal's run third, and there will be excuses. It was on the rails, left the fence, and then got forced very wide around the turn when Celtic Verse had to check it. 5, 3 and 7. Fourth in was Ruby Isabel, still a maiden, so a good effort. There were wide margins, though, between all the runners, indicating the winner must be very smart. Fifth in was number 1, Dan Viva, a time of 1:23.51. 2.50 and 1.20 for Celtic Verse. $4 even, Dream a Lot. $1.30 Nepal. Quinella $24.60. Exacta $39.40. Trifecta $111.50. Running double 2 and 5, $8.30. Vincent Hall taking the winning ride on Celtic Verse, trained by David Hall, and an emphatic winner yet again, Celtic Verse, as she was at Bendigo last start. She can go places. That's race 4, 5-3-7 at Caulfield.
Good, Danny, thank you. Easy one to the favourite. In fact, they came in at long intervals there, with Nepal probably 6 or 7 lengths behind the winner. $2.50 and $1.20 number 5, $4 number 3, $1.30 number 7. Quinella $24.60, Exacta $39.40, Trifecta $111.50. Here is a Doomben update. Trial at the trip. Recruits at $5.50, Yorkshire Lass $8.70, Indemnity at $5.50, Gallant Pride $37, Josiah $5.20, Goodwood $17, Simmy Sue $7.70, Lord Atlas at $5.90, 309,000 in the pool now. The others are at long odds. Lalindiana $25, Convincing at $14, Enchanted Spider at $92. Here's Ian with his call of race 4.
Righto, John, thank you. I was just commenting, John, the similarity in names. Recruits here, and the first winner at Kembla Grange this afternoon, trained by Bede Murray, a 2-year-old called Recruit. So how they got it through. Anyway, we've got Recruits here, and 5 on the tote now is 5.60. Has been well tried. The favourite, equal favourites on track. By gee, the betting has been keen on this. Equal favourites on track are 3 Indemnity and 8 Lord Atlas. And Recruits is the solid third pick, well tried, and Josiah pretty solid as fourth elect, so 4 very strong hopes. Now they're coming up at the 2,000 metres. Previous went to Strawberry Blonde, number 3, Chris Muntz. Beat 5, Disco Time, 4/3 Descendant. Okay, this is the STC Young Members Cruise Superfecta. And a very open market from the top. Recruits Well Tried, 550. 3, Indemnity, 530. Number 5, Josiah, 530. And number 8, Lord Atlas, is at $5.60. Pool building, almost 300, well, it's just top now, 350,000 on Tab Limited for the win. And Yorkshire Lass about to come forward. Strawberry Blonde, the previous winner. Second went to Caribou, and Chuckle took out the first. So we've had the 3 favourites all successful. Now Yorkshire Lass coming up. Simi Sue down the track at the moment with Indemnity. Indemnity, one of the fancied runners in the colours of Peter Horwitz. Enchanted Spider settles in the gates, waiting for Yorkshire Lass, racing in a nose roll. She gives a couple of little flicks with the hind legs as she received a little tickle up from the starter with one of the starters with the long whip. Lord Atlas, who looked impressive at Canterbury at the night meeting recently, comes forward. Josiah, stablemate of Caribou, is coming up now. And Barb Joseph's Goodwood in the red and yellow jacket. Georgie Scamone aboard. Reneg's at the first attempt. He's been around a long while. I'll get him this time. Yeah, he's there. Goodwood. And the last in is Brian York on Simi Sue, and we're all ready. Race number 4 here at the Gardens. Warm day. And they're off now. One of the best to break the line was Lalindiana. Indemnity got out very well, and Lord Atlas is third. Recruits is running fourth, followed closely by Gallon Pride, and then comes on the inside Enchanted Spider. Yorkshire Lass a trifle wide, then Convincing. A little deep out is Simi Sue. Josiah next to last, and 2 lengths to Goodwood. They race along to the 1600 corner, and Indemnity is the leader narrowly from Lord Atlas, with the well-tried Recruits in the third posse. Lalindiana is back to fourth now from Gallon Pride, and 2.5 to Yorkshire Lass around Enchanted Spider. Deeper out is Simi Sue as they work by the 1400, then Convincing Josiah, and last of all is Goodwood. Down the back stretch they run, and heading in the direction of the 1200 marker, and the Waterhouse trained Indemnity leads the way. A length on Lord Atlas, 1.5. Lalindiana ahead to Recruits a length. Simi Sue no luck, followed by Gallon Pride, Enchanted Spider, Yorkshire Lass, Josiah. Convincing is second last, and still absolute is Goodwood. Back about a dozen lengths from the leader Indemnity, who at the halfway is a leader by 1 length on Lord Atlas. 1.5 lengths away in the third position is Lalindiana. Simi Sue deeper out, and splitting Lalindiana to the inside and outside Simi Sue as Recruits, and a couple of lengths further off is Gallon Pride, then Enchanted Spider, followed by Yorkshire Lass. 2 lengths Josiah. Convincing next to last, and Goodwood has been last from pretty well the word go. To the 600 they run, and Indemnity 3/4 of a length. Lord Atlas. Simi Sue's been wide from the word go. Lalindiana fourth. Recruits is fifth, being given every chance, and then Yorkshire Lass. Josiah pulled to the outside now to make a run, and he's circling the field quickly as they set sail for the judge. Simi Sue, despite the fact she's been wide all the way, raced to Lord Atlas. They got to Indemnity, and then Josiah. Lalindiana and Recruits is getting no luck at all at the 200 marker. Lord Atlas fighting back. Josiah's almost level now. In fact, he's got him. Josiah draws past Lord Atlas. Recruits into the clear, but Josiah's racing away. Josiah from Lord Atlas, Recruits, Simi Sue, and Lalindiana from Gallon Pride. And then Yorkshire Lass. Indemnity folded up and beat 3 in. Goodwood, Enchanted Spider, and Convincing. Josiah, double for Timmy Martin here, and ridden by Alan Robinson. Number 5 has paid $6 a win, $2.20 for the place. Lord Atlas, number 8, will be second. Corey Brown for John O'Shea in New South Wales, $1.80. And the third place getter will go to number 1, Recruits, ridden by Rod Quinn for John Hawkes at $1.90. The winner is by Naturalism. Wasn't he a great horse? He hasn't set the world on fire as a stallion, but my gosh, he was a great racehorse. Out of a mare called Jump for Kathy, trained, as I say, by Timmy Martin, written by Alan Robinson, has clocked 2 minutes 1.99. That is outside the class record, the last 634.20. The numbers posted are 5, 8, 1. We stand by for 4th, 5th and 6th. I can tell you the NSW Quinella has returned 14.10, the exacta 26.20, the trifecta 119.10, extra double $12.30. Recruits, he got held up for a while in the straight. He's a one-pace type of horse. If you'd been able to get him clear at the top of the straight, he finishes a little bit closer, but I don't think he could have won. Josiah was perfectly ridden by Alan Robinson and was simply too good. Took off at the right time, circled them on the corner and wore down Lord Atlas. Promising horses the both. 5-8-1, and the judge has called for a photo for 4th, 5th and 6th. We'll let him sort things out, and as soon as he knows what has run the superfecta, we'll be back to let you know.
Thanks, Ian. Well, young Tim Martin, who was formerly Tamworth based, set up shop in the new stabling complex at Rose Hill some months back now, and things are really starting to happen for him. There's a winning double today, scoring earlier with Caribou. $6 and $2.20 Josiah, $1.80 Lord Atlas, $1.90 Recruits, Quinella 14.10, Exacta 26.20, Trifecta $119.10, and Robbo cracking it for a winner in town. Okay, Cheltenham. Malecki at Caulfield.
1400 metres, the columnist handicap coming up, and Bun Fight the favourite. Lee Friedman, Patrick Payne trying to team up for another victory. They did with Barcada earlier. Bun Fight the favourite, but a very open race. Sacred Shield, Laird's Bounty, easy on track. Lung Ha would be the best back runner, firming in from double figures. $9.80 is still a little bit of value now, but there's quite a lot of chances. Just in double figures, Ballistic Miss, Luxford, Midnight Rager, On the Snip, Pomeroy, all given hopes. 1400 the distance of the 5th event. The previous was taken out brilliantly by Celtic Verse. Now Lung Ha away from the line, trained by John Simons, who has the early favourite for the Golden Slipper in Bellesprit. Lung Ha coming in from a wide gate today. Goes up, they're ready. Race 5 at Caulfield. Bun Fight runs the favourite. And they're in the starter's hands. All clear given behind the gates. Racing, Mazir slow, Lung Ha may have been on purpose allowed to just drop out of the gates. His second last on settling, and Sacred Shield was one of the first out with Midnight Rager from a wide alley. It's going across the face of the field to lead. Bun Fight will sit handy as well, and likewise On the Snip. Back 5th is Sun Eagle. Next is Laird's Bounty from Network News in the pink and black colours. Back to about midfield, we have Pomeroy. On the Snip on the inside of it from Ballistic Miss, and about 2 lengths away then to Lung Ha, third last from Jacques and Mazir. 800 to travel. Bun Fight went to the lead from Midnight Rage of the rails. Sacred Shield third. Luxford it is up running 4th. 2 lengths to Sun Eagle. Another 2 lengths Laird's Bounty, Network News. On the Snip drifting back. It's beyond midfield now as Jacques commences a run with Ballistic Miss, then Pomeroy. Lung Ha ridden up, coming into the race, and 2 lengths away Mazir. 500 to travel. Bun Fight on the outside of Midnight Rage. It leads it by a head. 2 lengths to Sacred Shield, working into it strongly. 3 lengths to Luxford under pressure. Then Sun Eagle ridden along. Ballistic Miss. Next is Pomeroy. Lung Ha a long way back. Laird's Bounty ready to travel on the rails, but it's Bun Fight in front of the 200. Midnight Rager trying to kick again. Sacred Shield is struggling. Pomeroy runs on. It's Bun Fight just in front of Midnight Rager. Bun Fight from Midnight Rager. Pomeroy late, but Bun Fight beat Pomeroy. Third Midnight Rager, 4th Ballistic Miss, and then Sacred Shield. Luxford next in from On the Snip. The back enders or back markers never really came into the race. Sun Eagle next. Lung Ha never a factor. Mazir. Laird's Bounty ran into traffic and was severely held up halfway down the straight. Then Jacques and Network News dropped out. Bun Fight, Patrick Payne. Well, what an asset he's been to the Lee Friedman horses over the last 6 weeks or so. He was sidelined after being bowled over by some horses at his property at Rockbank. Was Paddy, but his strike rate for Lee over the last, I'd say, 6 weeks would be fantastic. Pomeroy, if it gets out earlier, you make your own mind up whether it would have won or not. But Bun Fight was in the race. Midnight Rager fought on well for a third. Numbers are up there, 4, 11 and 1, and 4th in was Ballistic Miss. Her run was on. A Sacred Shield raced handy and would have had every chance. Bun Fight wins by about a neck. He's now had 10 starts for 4 wins and brings up a double today for Lee Friedman and Patrick Payne. Carrying the 57.5 kilos, Midnight Rager had Zach Purton who claimed, but they did the work and raced on the speed, as was pretty much the pattern the other day here on Boxing Day. 5th in there.
To all come forward. Some of them are in fact. Intriguing race. Choisir, the favourite, 290. Good backing for Al Megdam, one of the newcomers, and Brian York in the saddle. Now, in goes Cool Trent. Now, the 3 to come up, and they are Blur, Jester's Lad and Athelnoth. 1,100 metres the journey. Pool getting up to 463,000. It's a very good pool for a 2-year-old race here. Jester's Lad coming up. Previous one by Josiah, number 5. Alan Robinson beat 8, 1 and 4. Last in will be Athelnoth. Athelnoth coming up now. Choisir favourite at $3. Athelnoth, Tiger Holland's representative. Short of the line at the moment. Pulling back is Athelnoth. The inside runner is Choisir. Cool Trent drawn widely. Blur better off. Interesting with the Victorians here, Cool Trent and Blur. Athelnoth, the rider Bernadette Cooper, giving it a dig in the ribs, and Athelnoth walks in, and we're ready for the Matador Tobars handicap. Pool 520,000 in New South Wales for the win. They're off this time, and Superiority jibbed. One of the Victorians, Blur, jumped with gusto and leads a half Gladiator settling down. A length away, third is Al Megdam, scooting up quickly, followed by Storm coming. Then Jester's Lad. Wider out is Athelnoth, and over on the inside next is Choisir. A length further back is Ashram, followed by Rodaka. Cool Trent is back second last, and Absolute is Superiority. To the 600 they go. Little between Blur on the inside and Al Megdam. A length and a half to on the inside Gladiator. The outside is Storm coming, and Athelnoth deeper out, then Jester's Lad. Choisir has lost some ground, followed by Ashram likewise. Then Superiority, second last Rodaka, and Cool Trent Stone Motherless last. They straighten up now and past the 400, and one of the newcomers, Al Megdam, raced up to Blur again, but can't clear him at the moment. Athelnoth, the roughie, is coming down the outside with Gladiator. Choisir is picking up the bit. The leader is Blur. Blur 100 to go. Choisir is the big danger. Blur in front. Choisir might run out of time. Blur in front and will win. The Victorians home. Blur from Choisir. Athelnoth a huge run third. Al Megdam was next, followed by Gladiator, Jester's Lad, Cool Trent, and then Rodaka, Storm coming, Superiority, and last to complete the course was Ashram. Blur, number 3. Number 3, Larry Cassidy for Col Little on Blur, has paid in New South Wales $3.80, $1.40. Choisir got home well for second, $1.50, and third placing will go to number 10. Gee, what a run by it, Athelnoth, thank you. And it was paying $24.30 by Flying Spur from Balcany. And Blur is a 2-year-old bay gelding, foaled on the 11th of the 9th, 99. Colin Little, very, very astute, capable horse trainer from Caulfield, and putting the polish on Blur. Choisir, terrific run to get second. And won't he improve 100% with that run under his belt, his first since the 22nd of September. And number 10 is third, Athelnoth. So 3, 1, 10, and number 6 ran fourth. Blur 381, 40, 1 Choisir 150, and number 10 Athelnoth 24.30, 590 Quinella, 1060 Exacta. The trifecta paid $967.40 in the first 4, 3, 1, 10, 6, $6,553.40. Well, Cool Trent, it got lost early. Whether anything happened to it shortly after the start, whether it got tightened up, but he was hard ridden at the top of the straight, did very little in the home section. Blur did well. The horse to follow out of the race is definitely Choisir, and a good run by the newcomer, the 4th horse, Al Megdam. Okay.
And here is Danny Malecki.
Thank you, John. They're at the gates for the 6th event and 1,100 metre race for the mares, the TP Fenner Handicap. TP Fenner was the secretary of the VATC from 1876 to 1881, soon to become the Melbourne Racing Club. Limerick Lady is the favourite. 220 solid all the way through. Her form line really good for this. Form at the distance excellent. At the track good. A last start winner from the outside gate with 58. She comes into this very well. Most of her the first uppers today, or in this race, Jaluka, very fiery mare she is, Jaluka, but she's by Jugar. She's the second favourite, has the form line behind Limerick Lady, but clearly beaten, meets her a little bit better at the weights today. Limerick Lady, the one to beat, and they're all up in the gates now. Bar Blue Marwina, Reese McLeod with a ride, has drawn the outside gate, Blue Marwina. 220 for Limerick Lady. 480 for Jaluka, 520 Secret Haze number 1. Better on track, Secret Haze. They're racing now. Jaluka reared up at the start. She played up and she missed it 3 lengths. Limerick Lady jumped away best and is going to lead unpressured from Transparent Lover, who's getting up on the inside of her now, and 2 lengths to Don't to Badly and Spurn. Then Blue Marwina, Secret Haze, and Jaluka missed the kick and is 2 lengths away last. Transparent Lover went through on the inside to take up the running from the favourite Limerick Lady, and about 3 lengths away Don't to Badly on the outside of Spurn. Then Blue Marwina, Secret Haze, and 3 lengths away Jaluka. Inside the 600, Transparent Lover in front, and leads by a length to Limerick Lady being cuddled. 2 lengths to Don to Badly, Blue Marwina to the outside, Spurn the fence, and then Secret Haze and Jaluka turning for home. And the leader, Transparent Lover. A confident look over the right shoulder from Darren Gouchy as Limerick Lady drew level. Don to Badly hard ridden, then Secret Haze and Spurn, but Limerick Lady, the Gouch goes for home and the favourite booted clear. Spurn getting out, Blue Marwina making up ground, but Limerick Lady is drawing away. Favourite's going to bolt in. Limerick Lady wins easily from Spurn and Secret Haze, then Blue Marwina. Next home was Transparent Lover, Jaluka, lost it at the start, and Don to Badly at the tail end. Limerick Lady, number 2, has walloped them. Confident ride. You see a jockey having a look over his shoulder with a couple of hundred to go. You know that, well, you start feeling a little more confident yourself, don't you, if you've backed it, but she did win well. The facts and figures said she was the one to beat, and she did it easily in the run home. Number 2, the winner. It's a photo for the minor end. Limerick Ladies by El Coenig out of Tara's Joy, trained by Terry Kelly. Second is 3, Spurn, Zach Purton. 1/3, Secret Haze, Mark Zara. 2, 3, 1 are in the frame for the 6th event at Caulfield. 2, 3, 1, 4th in number 9, and that was Transparent Lover after leading up. The time, 1 minute 4.06, so 64.06 the time on the 6th event at Caulfield. Favourite, doing it easily. It's 2, 3, 1 on race 6.
Right, Danny, thanks. Darren Gouchy home on the favourite Limerick Lady, beating Spurn, Secret Haze, and she's been a pretty handy mare, that one. Watching the head on, Gouch with his legendary poise and balance, using the whip. Well, he doesn't, he picks it up, but he's really only swatting flies with it. The whip is something that he uses only as a very last resort. Limerick Lady, 230, 150, Spurn, 370, no third, Secret Haze, Quinella, 960, Exacta, 1640, and the trifecta, 46 even. Here's a Doomben update, and it's the 5th of the day. There's Gavin Duffy being legged on board. The number 1 horse, favourite in fact, Aflac at 220, Ombra della Sierra, $3,
Well, of course, with